Welcome, everyone, to another session of Quick Fix Golf on the Internet, right here with your old Cuban buddy, Bobby Lopez, and my good friend, Jim Mason. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Bob. How are you this evening?
Director of golf at Pendleton Golf Club, which is a beautiful golf course. If you haven't played it, you need to go play it. It's in the best shape I've ever seen it in. And a lot of this rain probably, I don't know, did that help or hurt?
Yeah, we can always use the rain, but not too much. Yeah, of course, drains pretty well, so yeah, it hasn't hurt us.
And it hasn't been too hot like it was last year. Last year was just so hot.
Right.
It made it tough. But we're going to do this webinar this evening. You're going to have a chance to ask questions. There should be a little box over there where you can ask your questions, and a little hand will go up, and we'll know you're trying to talk to us. We also have a little questions box here that you can type in your question in case you don't have a microphone, you're not listening through the telephone. And tonight will be taped.
It will? Is that my picture?
On the recording button tonight. And of course, there's a picture of me. For any of you that are new and haven't seen me before, of course, with a webinar, you can't really see who's there, but that's a picture of me, the host. And there's my buddy Jim Mason.
It looks like we need to get to the dentist.
There you are at the microphone doing the webinar with your smile on your face, and like always, and always being happy. I'm sure once we get this up online for people to watch, the pink people will be very thrilled about how their staff plays.
Right.
And tonight's topic, of course, is short putts. I'm sure you got something to add on that. Do you not, Jim?
Very important topic. I mean, that's where you really lower your scores, short putting.
Exactly right. I mean, you can't get all the way to the hole. You've done all that work and all for nothing, you know. You got to get it in the hole. Right. So we use, of course, at Quick Fix Golf, nothing but the best, V1. We can send your video on your cell phone. You know, I'm getting a lot more videos from outside our area.
Really?
I don't know how, but guys are finding us on YouTube and on the internet, and they're sending the videos in. Must have done about 5 of them today alone.
Wow.
And, of course, we like to hang out at Pendleton Golf Club. Jim, tell us all about your place.
Pendleton's like playing golf in Scotland without the cost of the airfare. Like Bobby said, it's in great shape right now. And it's actually the last month you can purchase our 6-pack program. So
ooh.
If you haven't gotten one yet, it's time to get one.
You cut that off, don't you? What is
June 30th.
You got like 3 different kinds, aren't there? Tell them how it goes.
Yeah, we have 6-pack premium, which is 6 rounds for $259, which is like $43 a round. Those are good anytime. We have a 6-pack regulars, $199, 6 rounds for $33 a round, and the 6-pack light is $169 for 6 rounds. It's like $28 a round.
The 6-pack light.
Yeah, kind of tied in with the beer theme. Hey, that's my biggest seller this year.
A 6-pack light?
Yep.
I can imagine, because it only comes out to how much a round?
$28 a round.
Right, and especially if you're a senior, you can play on weekdays.
Yeah, they're only good weekdays.
Let me tell you what, if that golf course, if you picked it up and carted it to California, it would be $200 to play. Easy.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. People in Northern Virginia say they pay over $100 for that to play up there.
Yeah, they drive down from D.C. to play quite a bit. So we also have the Patterson Golf Park in Richmond, Virginia, which on weekdays, now I think from 9 to 12, but it was 10 to 12. I think it's 9 to 12 now. $9.95, you can hit balls to your hands bleed. You smack them out there, unlimited for $9.95, all you can hit. In fact, a lot of our members that come out to the Wednesday workshop, I think that's one reason why that thing's always packed, because the range balls are only $9.95, so they get the full benefit.
Great deal.
Oh, you can't beat that. And as I warned everybody, we're running out of the chrome. They're gone. All I've got left is the Hex Black. Unbelievable. I'm telling you. Now, looking at the short putts. The golf ball goes where the putter face is pointed, whether you like it or not. A lot of people don't know that, Jim. They think it's the path of the club.
Right.
You know, but if you ever saw Billy Mayfair putt, You realize the path ain't got nothing to do with it.
Jeez, that's hard to watch.
It is. It's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, the path has a lot to do with long putts, but when it comes to a short putt, that ball's going to go wherever that club face is pointed at the moment of impact. What's happening? Here we go. So here's the club face. And let me see if I can, hold on here. I thought I could. I got a marker here. How do you, yeah, here's a pin. Even if the club is traveling this way, oh, well, we can get a better color, but the heck with it. As long as that face is pointed at the hole at the moment, if the hole is the target and there's no break on the putt, the ball's going to go straight that way. Doesn't matter that the putter's traveling, cutting across the ball. Same thing going the other way. I'd never make a Picasso, would I?
No.
I don't know. What if I could draw a melting putter, like in the melting clock? Huh?
Said, don't quit your day job.
You got that right. Haven't got one anyway. Oh, here you go. Look, you can choose colors. Here you go. How neat is this? Well, everybody's watching. I can just sit here and play. Oops. All right. Well, anyway, you got the idea. It can go either way. Now, if you say, okay, let me move this out of the way. I think it's probably messing some people up. The less you move the golf club face, the less chance of a change in club face angle. Look at this thing. How do I get the pointer options? How do you clean that off? Eraser. Doesn't say. Darn it. Now how did that happen? That the scribbling that I did here, whoops, is stained.
No, you just hit the erase button. It took it off.
Well, hold on. Let me find over here. Erase all drawings. There we go. All right. Figured it out. It's just too much technology for a Cuban. You understand? We know how to roll. That's about it. But looking at the putter, here we're talking about the actual swing of the putter, the path. Sure, it's a whole lot better if your path is perfectly straight back and forth. But there's some guys that putt on an 18-degree. What do you think, Jim? I mean, are you a straight back and forth putter, or are you on the curvature?
Yeah, some people putt on an arc. I like to go straight back and straight through.
Yeah, me too. Especially short putts.
Right.
I mean, long putts, it might be impossible to do that, quite frankly, even if you think you're doing it. I mean, keeping the club straight back and forth. You're probably on an arc whether you like it or not. But, you know, straightness is not an issue on the long putts. It's speed, so who cares? But when it comes to the short putts, so, you know, I would recommend the backswing. As you can see here, the backswing is probably 1/4 of the size of the follow-through. Because every inch I move that putter head, I'm at risk of moving the face somehow, and then we're going to be messed up. And as you can see, you see the white lines here. That has to, I mean, that's there to help you aim. I think a lot of people don't even see the diagram on the club head.
No.
You know, what I used to do years ago, many, many moons ago, let me see if I can draw with this pen. I used to take this area right here on my putter, from there to there, and I painted it white. So I had one long white line. I used to like to do that. I'd probably do it again. I mean, I don't compete anymore, so who cares? But that boy, it was real plain. I mean, there was no way to miss it. Just like on your irons, the first two grooves of the club, you had that white line. I always kept that nice and clean and shiny because that way you could see where the head's pointing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
What do you think about the two-ball, the Odyssey two-ball putter with the two balls behind?
I mean, if it helps somebody line up, I mean...
I personally think it's very distracting. I don't like a big putter head, something that distracts my eye back there. I see myself looking at that more than I do at the golf ball.
Yeah, I wouldn't even use a putter like this. I just took this picture right go golf, but I don't even like this. My putter. I would take this part right here and I'd chop it off, and I'd have.
You're more of a blade guy, right?
Well, you know, usually Puerto Ricans are the ones that have blade. The Cubans have a gun. Can you say that word anymore? Anyway. Yes. I just don't like, and I'll tell you another reason, because I like to set something over here when I'm putting and practicing. I like to set something over here, whether it's your keys or, you know, a drink or whatever, so that you're taking the putter back and you know about how far you're going. You've got something to beat up against. And when you got this big lump on the back, it's sort of, I don't know. It's just me. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a putter with a lump on it, but I don't like the big-headed putters.
No. It all comes down to personal. You know, I've sold a lot of putters, and I always tell people it really comes down to personal preference. What looks good to you? Some, you know, those big-headed putters look good to some people.
Exactly. You know, to some people, I mean, there is a real advantage of having this longer white line here. I see that. I don't know that I wouldn't. Let me see. Can I draw on this again? Hold it. Yeah, here we go. Here's a pen. That I wouldn't maybe fill this and make that all white. You know, maybe. And maybe take this and make it red. See, and put that red spot right in the middle of that big white box, and that might help me align better. I mean, you know, I think one thing that I think a lot of golfers miss, oh, it's an erase. Oh, you just go like that. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. I found something new. Well, don't do that, dumb Cuban. Is that people don't mess around with their clubs a lot. Of course, they don't know what to do in the first place. I'm sort of giving these tips now, but I mean, it takes me a while to get used to a set of clubs. That's why I wouldn't want to change clubs every year. I know
you're always tinkering with your stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you're trying to get it just right. I mean, I got these shafts I put in that are 85 grams that I finally found a shaft. I like this shaft for some reason. It sticks with me well in the swing. I like it, but the heads are too light. I need to get everything up to D3. I did that with the hybrid. The hybrid, I wanted to break it in a million pieces. I put a shaft that matched the irons because I want my hybrid to match my irons, not the woods. And I'm hitting the thing like a low dart and hitting everything in the heel of the golf club. And I'm going, man. So then I put it on the swing weight scale, and it was like C8.
Huh.
I went, well, they must make these heads extra light to accommodate this graphite shaft because they make them all in graphite. So then I took a bunch of lead tape. I mean, I had to get a bunch to get it up to D3, and I'm knocking the snot out of it. Hitting it straight as an arrow, hitting it really nice. So I just had to get enough weight on the end of that shaft to stretch the shaft enough to make it work. And D3 seems to work for me. I don't know why, but that's my swing weight. If it doesn't weigh D3, you know, even those light grips I put on, I had to rip them off, put real grip on it.
Right.
You know, so you got to tinker with your stuff until you get it just the way you want it. You know, then you're really excited to hit a shot because you just feel like, you know, your golf club's on your team, and that's also part of the fitting process. But you have to get used to it. All right. Let me see. Any other comments there, Chief?
Nope.
All right. Now, let's move along here. Special report. How are we going to make these 6-foot putts and 4 and 5 or 6-foot putts? Preparing your putter for 6 feet and in. I'm going to click on this little link, and it worked in practice, so it better work now. There it goes. All right. I got all kinds of links and videos and junk tonight, man. Let's see.
We have liftoff.
And there we go. Now, there's only one thing here. Hold on. Wait a minute. I want to pen. Let me see. Can I draw right here? Oh, I didn't want that. I want black. Choose color pen. There we go. Hold it. Let me fill this in a little bit right here.
You need to spray on stuff. The liquid hair in a can.
Maybe I should buy that seal stuff. Yeah. Let me see. Erase all drawings. Okay, good. Now what? Oh, I got a drawing thing again. Here we go. Normal. Non-draw. Here we go. Now, this is a special report to all you members. All you got to do is go to quickfixgolf.com, click on members. Wow, it doesn't move up and down so easy when you're in one of these things. Preparing your putter for 6 feet and in. The putter has to be right. And a couple of things we did, we went right here. You see this little apparatus right here. We went down to Home Depot and bought one of those, $12.50. Bought, well, you can go see Jim at Pendleton, and he's got the putter, the grip installing machine and everything is set up, and he can go ahead and put a level right alongside your club face to make sure it's straight up and down, and then he'll install the grip and then put that level all the way across the grip until he knows for sure that that grip is exactly 90 degrees to the face of the golf club. That's mucho importante. See? You put it on top of the grip after that. See? Check your putter to see if it's face balanced. This little toy right here cost what, $3 or something? And then what I did...
Everybody's probably got a level in their garage.
Yeah. Is put that little... See, this little box thing over here is a... it's for using sheetrock and stuff, making a, you know, what we call a laser line.
Right.
Right? So then you take that thing, set it in front of your putter face, and put a little piece of cardboard with a crosshairs or something on the edge of the wall there. This is at my sister-in-law's house in Tampa. And you can tell whether your putter face is actually pointed where you think it's pointed. And you can practice that a kabillion times. And this whole report tells you exactly what to do to the little machine, because I have to put a little white line right alongside here because that's where the laser comes out. It's flat, so it goes right up against the face of the putter. And you've got to make friends with the face of your putter, and you've got to know that that putter is pointed exactly where you think it's pointed every time. So that's step one. That's something you got to do. You ain't got a choice. Then, if we go back to, what's this thing doing? I'm taking a big risk here. Oh, you dog. Ah! Now, drills to control breakdown in the putter face. This is a little video.
Welcome to GoToWebinar, Web Events Made Easy.
Club face has the primary influence on the ball, meaning the first thing the ball is going to do is go opposite of wherever the club face is pointed. So what I want to give you here is a tip for you to be able to figure out whether your club face is pointed that way or not. Set up about 4 feet from the ball, not any further than that. I'm telling you, stay close. And then once you set the club face where you think it should be, just push it. Jenny Collins here, PGA professional, will just play a little bit of break here too. But he's just going to push it. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So now he knows that his club face is pointed in the right direction. Now, he can go ahead and make a stroke. Well, here, we're going to show the pushing from this angle. See? Just push it, no backswing at all, so that you don't have a chance to change that club face to a different angle and screw this whole thing up. We're going to know that club face is pointed there. Now, the only way you can push it like this and it doesn't go where it's supposed to go is right here. The breakdown on the left wrist. Look how he very well keeps his, doing a good job here, Eddie. Keeping that left hand going first and not letting the right hand take over so that this club face continues to point where it's supposed to be pointed. Now he can go ahead and make a stroke. And here you'll see he'll take a very short backswing. Short, boom. See how the backswing is only this long, the follow-through is this long, and the ball was there. So its follow-through is longer than its backswing, and that's perfect. That's just the way it ought to be. And then look right here. This is really good, right here. Look at that. No breakdown of that left wrist at all, which is what all the guys out there are worried about, which is why some of people got right-handed, because they can pull with their left hand. All right, so that's just the way it's supposed to be. Now, the long stroke for long putts, we're not going to talk about that right now, but I just want to show you one, is the opposite. Here you can take a long, flowing stroke because club face position is vital, yes.
Hey, Jim.
Hey.
Did you hear that all right?
I could hear it. It was kind of hard, but if you really listened, you could hear it okay.
Okay, well, let's try something different on this next one here. Where's, why the heck does it do this? Oh, here we go. These are some drills. If for those guys that are members, whoops, that was the one we just did. Okay, let's go back to this one. That one's out. Darn it, then you have to go back this way. Sorry about this, gang. Putter swing path. This is a special report. It's also in the special report session for you guys that are members. You go to, members, enter your username, your password, It says how to improve your putting over the winter, but don't pay attention to that. You can do it any time of the year. See? And just at least give you something, even if it's anything at all, to try and get your path going straight. You can put tees in the line. You don't necessarily have to buy this apparatus here. See? But there's something that you can work on that'll help you with your swing path. Practicing drills 6 feet and in. Here you go to the drill section, and this drill is right there. Here we go.
That's a good one.
Here I've got them in a circle. I'm not going to do the audio this time. I'm just going to move it along here. Can you hear?
Or you're rolling along.
Welcome to GoToWebinar, Web Events Made Easy.
4-foot circle, or you're 180 yards away from the green and you're trying to hit it within a 4-foot circle. If you get it within 4 feet, it makes it. Now, both Tiger and Phil make a perfect circle like this. Now, I don't like that method, but, who am I to criticize these guys? They're making more money than me. There's also this method, which is what I use. What I've done is staggered the balls, because I don't think you get a 4-foot putt every time. So sometimes you got a 2-footer, sometimes you got a 6-footer, sometimes you got a 3-footer. So I made every one of these balls. It makes them look weird, so like a star gets a little bit. But they're all different distances. Now, Arnie was famous for this one right here. Arnold Palmer used to always do this, He started off with this putt. This one's a little longer, that one's a little longer, this one's a little longer, a little like so on, all the way around. So each putt got a little longer. I don't like that as well either, because your mind already knows, hey, you're not going to roll it just a little bit faster this time. It gets too easy to get used to it. I like that. Stagger them around looks silly, but I think it's a better idea. But what can I tell you? These guys use that right now perfectly.
Hello.
Hello.
You could hear that one?
Barely.
Barely.
Yeah.
Well, what I really did here, see, there it is in a 4-foot circle. I would always practice it this way. Shut up, you dumb Cuban. There we go. Now, see, right?
You stagger it. You stagger it and get it instead of keeping it all at the same distance.
Yeah, because you don't get the same distance putt every time.
Right.
You see, so I like to stagger them around. Of course, you've seen that kind of thing. Each one is a little longer, but I still think in your own mind, you're going to have a putt that's a little bit longer. You've got to stagger the force that you're hitting the ball, because you got to roll the ball the right speed, because if you don't, the hole's too small. Meaning that the faster you roll that ball, if you roll it faster, now the outer edges are not available to you, because you're going to have to hit dead center in the back, or else it's going to lip out. So what do you do to try and roll the ball the right speed?
I don't know. On short putting, I like to practice just making a lot of putts. I know that sounds kind of funny, but I get the ball close to the hole, whether it's 2 feet or even maybe 3 feet, and I just try and make a lot of putts in a row. Just get in the habit of making putts, and that helps with.
That's a good point, because I'll tell you one of the problems I always see when I tell somebody to practice 4-footers, the next thing you know, you turn your back, they're 12 feet away.
Right.
They start moving further and further back. And
I think if you get on the practice putting green and you try and make a lot of long putts, naturally you're going to miss most of them, and then you get in the habit of missing a lot of putts.
Now, drills to control the breakdown. We've got a video on that, see? And here, basically, let me see if I can run this along here, too. Let me see here. Let me get a little bit... you see the, hold on. Here we go. Now, right there, you see the cross-handed thing. It's really because pulling with the left hand, pulling with the left arm, keeps you from breaking down. What breaks you down is the left hand stops and the right hand smacks it.
Yep.
So I think that's why a lot of these kids putt cross-handed. You don't putt cross-handed, do you?
No. I've tried it before. It is good. If you get into a bad putting streak, it's good to switch it up once in a while.
I can't do it, man. I've tried it. I just can't do it. Of course, I'm just very lucky that
That's because you've been putting. Well, that's because you've been putting for years the conventional style.
Yeah, but there's a lot of guys on the road that've been putting the conventional. Well, I mean, like for instance, Nicklaus. He said if he had to do over again, he'd putt cross-handed, but he tried. He couldn't do it. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's just But I've just been very fortunate that I haven't had the yips or anything. The only time I've had the yips is if I came home too late at night and my wife started throwing stuff at me. Here's some other important tips. Don't get anxious and look up. I see that a lot, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't look it into the hole. I mean, you're not Superman. You haven't got like special eyes or something that you could make it move with your eyes. You might as well just stay calm, stay steady, and just follow through. And again, hit the ball the right speed, and just believe that you're doing the right stuff, and you're going to make your share. I mean, you're going to miss one eventually, but
yeah, you can't make them all.
No. But you can't miss one and then all of a sudden get negative. And then as soon as you get to a point where you start getting over short putts and you're worried, you're done. You're done. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But it's kind of like it goes back to just like the full swing, having a routine. I know that I think it was Bob Rotella worked with Davis Love, and he had that routine. You've probably seen him. He goes up and he takes 3 practice swings looking at the hole, and then he gets over the putt and hits and automatically hits it. He does that on every putt.
Well, I don't see anything wrong with looking at the hole, quite frankly, especially on longer putts.
Yeah, just to get a feel for the speed.
Right. I think the problem is on the short putts if you look up because you're anxious. I think it's more the fact that you're anxious, or really what you're saying to yourself if you're looking up at that hole on a short putt is that you're scared it might not go in. You're not that confident, or you wouldn't need to look. Does that make any sense?
Sure.
Why look? If you know it's going in the hole, there's no reason to be concerned. I mean, and it's so much of it's a mental game, no doubt about it. Oops, back. There was something else I wanted to show everybody. I forgot what it was now. Darn it. I had it. It was in my mind. What can you think of? Is there anything else that could help these guys with their short putts and ladies?
I don't know. I think just practicing. I don't see a lot of people practicing on the putting green. I know it's boring to get out there and putt a lot, but that's where you really lower your scores is to sharpen your short game. So spend some time on the putting green.
And we've never had to go over there and fight somebody for the putting green.
Right.
No, never had to do it.
It's all about the driver. They all want to hit the driver 300 yards.
Exactly. They're going to go pound balls until their nose bleeds, but they don't. Let me see if we have some questions here. Do we have any questions from anybody? Who's got a question? You can type a question in your little box, or let me click on this right here. You can, there's a little thing you can click or something, and your little hand comes up, or I see a little hand over here. If you have a question about something pertaining to the short putts. There was something else I had, a video or something. Oh! I know what I wanted to see. Hold on here. Let's go to...
I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
What position do you like to put the ball in your stance?
Oh, that's a good one.
Do you like it off the left toe, or do you like it a little bit further back, or?
I'm such a field type player that it can change from day to day. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. The one thing I will do, but it's usually not on short ones, although it could be if there's a lot of break there, is if the ball's breaking left to right, I might edge the ball up just a little bit in my stance. And because usually you don't play enough break. So having the ball a little more forward than normal, no matter how much you try to swing the putter straight back and forward, you're liable to add another degree of angle to the left. And I do the reverse if the putt is right to left. I move the ball back in my stance just a little bit.
Well, I guess that's my question because, you know, based on the position of the ball and your stance, is it the ball going to skid more before it starts rolling if the ball's further forward?
I don't know. I really don't know. I know they talk about all that stuff today with the putters, but, I mean, back when I played, that wasn't a concern because back then we had 7-degree lofts on our putters, and we wanted the ball to get airborne anyway. Now, today, they're 3 degrees. But a lot of that's because the grass is so much better. It's almost like putting on a pool table compared to the peanut brittle we used to putt on back in the 70s, you know. But, you know, when I'm putting for 4, 5, 6 feet in, the putter face is king. So, you know, if I'm moving that ball back in my stance for a right to left putt, I'm saying that I'm not pointing my putter face where it should be, or I shouldn't have to do that. It's like a little added insurance. And
how about on a severe downhill putt? I've always heard you should play it off the toe.
Yeah, you can put it on the toe. Old Vince Allen used to do that, especially all the old guys that had the blade putters. You hit it out on a toe, and you get that gear effect, and it takes some of the, you know, velocity off of the ball. What I like to do when I was downhill is to barely hang onto the putter, and then when I'm uphill, I squeeze the putter. I hold it tight.
Right.
So that you know, usually if I hold the putter real light in my hands, you know, I'll just barely swing it, and then going uphill, I squeeze the putter a little bit because usually you're short, so that might help you hit it a little harder.
Right.
But those are good questions. Here are the stats from 6 feet and in. Pat Perez, number 1, 86% of the time. 36 attempts, 31 made. Jeff Overton, 85%. See, look at these guys. Let's look down here to Tiger Woods is number 14, 78%. I'd like to see what Tiger's stats were when he was really rocking, and I'll bet it was a lot higher than 78%.
Yeah, I bet it was too.
Let's look. Stuart Appleby, 78% basically. Just look at the bottom. Who's the worst? Bob Lopez. 2%. Bob Estes, 42%. That ain't good. Let me tell you something. If I knew I was at 42%, I'd live on the putting green. Why even practice hitting any balls? Because no matter, you can't hit it good enough to overcome the 42% conversion ratio. You couldn't, Hogan couldn't overcome that.
No.
So there's no reason to even practice anything else.
Well, look at Rory McIlroy right there.
I know, and you wonder why he's having trouble. Look at that. He's only making it 50% of the time. From 6 feet and in.
He's number 2 in the world.
He ain't right now. He's number 173 in this. You know, Roberto Castro. Look at this, 172.
Justin Rose, too.
Yeah, no good. Man, I mean, you know, I would just live at the putting green. I'd pitch a tent, and I'd say, this is where I hang out, Boo Weekly. Well, we already know his problem. I mean, he just can't putt.
Ian Poulter, he makes every putt in the world in the Ryder Cup, but nowhere else.
Well, some guys are really good when you get down to the real pressure in the playoffs, like A-Rod.
So they call him Mr. Bay.
Well, he's. Oh, did you hear that the New England Patriots are signing Tebow?
Yeah, I heard that tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's Phil Mickelson, 64%. That doesn't surprise me because he's got a long sweeping stroke. I'd like to see what Gary Player's stats were back in his day because he was unbelievable. He had this little short, you know, he would just pop it. And he just did a great job. Angel Cabrera, 66%. Look at this. Retief Goodson, 68%. So you see, here's the best guys in the business. And you got guys down here. Look at this at 42%, Bob Estes. So when you miss a 6-foot putt, don't don't jump in the canal and commit suicide or something. I mean, it happens. Ernie Els, he's a 74%. So we're still missing, 25 out of 100, 1 out of 4. Ben Crane, these guys are 3 out of 4 right along here. Now, let me show you what a big difference. Let's go to the putting stat of 10 feet. Let's just add another 4 feet on there. And look what happens to the numbers. What was the best guy? 87% before? Right. Now it's 65. Let's go down to the bottom. It's 15%. Look at Trevor Immelman, 17%. Bob Estes, he's at 22%. Remember, he was the bottom of the stack for the 6-footers. Yeah. He ain't that much better on the 10-footers. I think I would hang out at the putting green all day. So much of it is mental, So much of it is mental. But anyway, hopefully we've given everybody some stuff to work on. All you guys that are members, go to the special reports section and download those special reports, read them. The drills are there. Go to the drill section, and Bill Wagner's got it. Hey, Bill.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm surprised you'll talk to me.
Oh, no.
Hey, Jim, we went out and did the play with the pro.
Yeah.
And poor Bill Wagner found out what it's like on tour.
It's miserable. I
want him to see. Well,
oh, gosh.
What surprised them is that, on tour, guys don't talk. They don't talk to each other. I've played plenty of rounds. When I went all the way around the golf course, we never said one word to each other.
I thought you were mad. I didn't know.
No, not at all. The problem is they get so, and I sort of miss it in a way. It was fun in a way, but there's like a light that turns on, and once you get to that first tee, somebody could talk to you and like you don't even know what they said. In fact, that's what I should tell my wife. I'm in a tournament. She comes in and asks me something. She said, "You weren't even listening to me. I'm concentrating on my shot." You can probably hear this in the other room. I'm a dead man. You know that. Can I stay at your house tonight, Jim?
Sure.
Stay with Samantha?
Okay, remember my question.
Okay, go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, just the putting swing, the stroke. Do you go back with your hands, leaving your shoulders steady, or do you keep the triangle, move the shoulders as well?
Well,
I personally use the triangle.
You use the triangle, huh?
Yep.
I feel like it's all one piece. I don't try to use my hands, although I do use my hands. I feel with my hands, but I don't use my hands. I feel with my shoulders rocking. I don't know, it's a weird way to say that, but I feel with my hands, but I don't use my hands. I feel the putter head in my hands. That's why I hold the putter gentle. I feel the whole instrument swinging back and forth, but I don't allow my hands, I should say this, I don't allow my wrists to move.
Right.
That's probably better.
You don't care if I copy that?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't allow the wrist to move, because when my wrists move, the club face moves.
In my limited experience, I've found the triangle, but the most important thing is keeping the head still, eyes right at the same spot.
Well, they talk about having your eyes over the top of the ball, but you look at Ben Crenshaw, and he's not even close. He's probably one of the best putters ever walked on the green. So,
yeah, not necessarily on the ball, but at the same spot. Don't let him.
Right. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, not jump up getting anxious. So I used to do the same thing with my kid as a place kicker, and having talked to NFL kickers that gave us lessons and stuff. It is the same thing for them. You can't go thinking about the goalpost. You got to kick the ball, and once you've kicked it, it's gone. You could stare at it all you want. Doesn't matter. you gotta be focused on what it is you're going to do on that snap in the hold. You look there, you see that ball set up just the way you want it, and pow, you let it go. You can't eye it through the two goalposts. All right, Bill. Thanks for chiming in, buddy. Of course, we can't go through a night without talking to our buddy Tony. Hey, Tony.
G'day, Bobby. How are you, Jim?
Hey, Tony, what's up?
What's going on over there? I wonder if they're going to be. Are you going to be snooping this webinar over there in New Zealand or what?
I don't know. I hope so. I've listened to a number of people, but I don't know. I think they're probably out playing.
Well, Jim, we'll both go to jail together, buddy.
That's fine.
Yeah, we didn't do anything wrong. So, anyway, Tony, do you think this will help your putting any or what?
No, I think it's good. Putting's never been a problem for me, though, Bobby. Look, it was interesting to have a look. It'd be interesting to have a look and see what the stats were from Harris English this week, because he was way down there, about 159, I noticed, on the 6 foot. I just wonder what the difference was this week in regard to...
Okay, hold on. Let's take a look. Who is it?
Harris English.
Harris English from...
The guy who won the St. Jude.
Okay, hold on. Let's see what happened. Let's see what... I tell you what, here, you can probably go to the live scoring leaderboard. I think it'll have the stats of the tournament itself. So you're talking about Harris English, okay. Now,
yeah, if you just click on at the top, click on Harris English, and then you go into his stats. Yeah, then we'll come up with his cards.
Nice kid.
Just scroll down.
All right, let's look here.
There you go, there's his stats.
Putts per green in regulation, let me see.
Doesn't show the others, though.
That's
tied for 14th.
Let me see here. So, greens in regulation, tied for 9th. Sand saves, tied for... Well, let me tell you something. This sand saves thing was big with the Guam kid, whatever his name was at the Masters, remember? We got to do bunker classes. Driving accuracy.
He was 100% for every bunker he was in.
They must have all known Chico Miartuz. Pars, tied for 67th. Eagles. He had 2 eagles. He had tied for 4th in birdies. But it doesn't show a stat for his putting.
No, it doesn't, does it?
Although, look at this. I mean, you look at 1.3 in round 2. Let's see. Let's see what he shot in round 2. Here's round 4, 3, round 2. He shot 64. Hello? Look at this. 69, 69, 64, 66. What was it, a chip and putt? What are we doing here? These kids are unbelievable today. They can knock the snot out of it. It's unbelievable. 6 foot 3 inches tall, 185 pounds, like a University of Georgia, but he knocked the daylights out of it. He deserves it. He did it. Let's look at the stats. Hold it, all stats, and let's see where he stood putting 6 feet and in before.
It wasn't good. It was about 159th, I think I noticed.
Really?
Yeah, it was way down there.
Here it is, Harris English. And now he's 147, so he moved up some. Wow. Look at Y.E. Yang down here, 162. Steve Marino, who's that? Dan Marino?
He's from Virginia.
Is he really?
Yeah.
We got to try and get him on the webinar.
He went to, I think he went to UVA.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Man, we got to try and get a hold of him.
Does he play the banjo too, Jim?
Yeah, I bet he has all his teeth. All right, Tony, I'm with that.
All right, we'll change the music, Tony. We'll change the music, I promise. Next week we're going to hear, what is it?
Caracas.
Tie my kangaroo down sport.
That's for the Aussies.
I know, but it's close enough. What do the Kiwis do? What's their famous song?
Oh, gee.
I'll find out. We're going to put a Kiwi song on next week.
Yeah.
Any other questions from anybody? Raise your hand. Let us know you have a question here. Let me see. I don't see any other. Who's this, Jeff? Let me see. Find out. Jeff. If you got a microphone, can you hear us? Hey, Jeff. I wonder if it's Jeff Allen, the famous comedian, you know. Oh, well. Ernest.
Yeah, Bobby,
What's your
can you hear
question?
me? Can you hear me, Bobby?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
All right, on those short putts, like 4 foot, and you got a slow green versus a fast green. I mean, how much does that backstroke change for that?
According to what you need in speed. Well, really, in a short putt, I won't necessarily take it back much further. I'll pop it harder.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because I don't want to move that putter head back further and be at risk. I don't know. What do you do, Jim?
Yeah, I mean, just take a little shorter backswing. But the key is still to follow through, because a lot of people will stop at impact. You still got to follow through.
Now, we've got one question here from a Keith. Do you look past the hole? Oh, look at that. Now I found out how to do this. I can read the thing. Do you look past the hole to help follow through? Yes, on uphill. You ever do that, Jim?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The old man taught me that way. You know, I don't look at the entire hole. I look right dead center in the back of the cup and slam it right for there. If it's got a little break left or right or something, I'm looking at the front door of the hole, not the center of the hole. I'm looking at the area that I want the ball to go through. Let's see if we have another question here, which we'll do. Here's Mike Starr. Can you explain the arc swing versus straight swing? Which is better? Why don't you take that one, Jim?
Well, basically, the arc swing is when the putter head goes inside as you take it back, then you impact the ball, and then it goes back inside on your follow through. So it's kind of like on an arc instead of straight back and straight through.
And then the other one straight back and forth. And I think we both said we prefer the straight back and forth.
Yeah. Like you said, though, on the long putt, you're still going to have to arc it some. You know, you can't take it straight back. It's going to go to the inside eventually.
All right, I hope that answers your question there, Mike. Anybody else got a question? Get your questions right here. Let me see if anybody else got a question. Ooh, I got to click on this here. Here we go. That's questions. Oh, I got to click on attendee list. That's it. Ernest Trent. Oh, we already answered Ernest. Let me see. Who else? Anybody else? Oh, Tony. Yeah, Tony.
Yeah, Bobby, doesn't the method that you use, whether it be arc or straight back and straight through, depend on the type of putter that you use? For example, my understanding is that straight back, straight through, you're more likely to use a mallet putter, whereas you'd use a blade with the arc.
You're 100% right. It's really, I think, more face balanced or heel balanced. My putter's face balanced, so which means, you know, if I held the putter on my finger and balanced it, the face would be pointing straight up to the sky. So face balance, I go straight back and forth. Something that's got more heel balance where the toe goes down, like a blade putter, you could swing more on the arc.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jim? Is that what you do?
Yeah, that sounds right.
You know, so that's the difference you'll see in putters. I think most guys that are arc putters will pick a putter. It doesn't have to be face balanced. They don't care. I like face balanced. Although I don't have to. I mean, I grew up on a blade putter, so I don't mind it. But good question. Good question. Anybody else? If not, we're ready to hit the road here. Any other questions? I hope you enjoyed tonight. I hope you learned something. Now that I pressed the recording button, yes, you'll be able to go to the member section and see this again, or tell your friends to go see it. We'd like to have more folks on if we can, and help more people improve their golf game.
Send us your videos.
Yeah, and send us a video of your swing, and we'll do an analysis right during the workshop. And we promise we won't make fun of you. We promise we won't make fun of you, right, Jim?
That's right. We promise.
Yeah, right. No, you know, it would be good to get an opinion right there, live, right on the spot. So if you want to, you can always send us your video, and we'll be happy to take a look at it. All right? Hope you had a good time.
Thanks,
See you
everybody.
next week, 7 o'clock.